Good day, folks. Today I'm going to be showing you how to play Landslide. This game was created in 1971 and it is for 2 to 4 players. Now this game is called the game of power politics. Essentially what you are trying to do is you're trying to become the President of the United States, and what you're trying to do basically is trying to get the most electoral votes by the end of the game. This game is very high on bidding and a little bit high on chance as well. And it's a pretty cool game, so let me go ahead and show you how to play it. Okay, I have the board set up here, and the first thing you're going to notice is you're going to notice the United States is here. Each of the states has a number next to it. Those numbers represent the amount of electoral votes each of those states is worth. Again, what you're trying to do is you're trying to be the player that has the most of those after the end of the game. I'm going to show you a few of the cards. These are the vote cards. These are the cards that you're going to be using to basically bid on the different states to try to win them. You have 250,000 votes, 5 million votes, 1 million votes. Got all kinds of voting cards here. The other card I'm going to show you real quick is the politics card. This card is going to allow you to do things to try to mess your opponent up, try to steal some of his states, allow you an extra turn. And you can play these generally any time during the game on your turn. There's a lot of different ones of these. These are the states. This is the West, the East, the Midwest, and the South. And they're represented here, the West, Midwest, East, and South. So anytime one of these cards comes up for auction, you're going to get at least an idea of what state it could be. So that'll kind of give you an idea as to what you can win. Now the way this game works is there's a lot of these different spaces over here. The first thing you're going to notice is a space called Home State. This basically represents your section of the board, which in this case is this. Really all this does is anytime you pass this spot, you're going to get a vote card. If you land on it, you're going to get 2 vote cards. Also, if your opponent lands on your home state, you're going to get to take one of his vote cards. You're going to notice that there's state spaces for each of the colors. What happens is if someone lands on a state space, that person is going to pick up the color of that state and look at it. In this case, I picked up Wisconsin, which is worth 11 electoral votes and worth 1.1 million votes. That person will get to look at it, and then he's going to put it down, and then both of the players are going to bid on it. So this will give the person who has the state the opportunity to try to win some extra votes from his opponent or to try to win the state himself. Let's go ahead and say we started the auction off in 250,000 increments. Let's say I bid 1 million votes and my opponent conceded. I would then go ahead and take this state and turn it over and put it right here, which shows I have got 11 electoral votes with the state of Wisconsin. There's also a few of these other ones. There's a space here called Open Ballot. What Open Ballot does is whoever lands on this will get a chance to choose one of his opponent's states and put it up for auction. So let's say I had Pennsylvania up for auction. My opponent could say, okay, I want to put Pennsylvania up for auction and see if they can win it. Or a lot of times what will happen is they'll try to just get rid of a lot of your votes and your money, so to speak. So let's say this is up and we start bidding. My opponent ends up bidding 3 million votes, and I go ahead and concede it to him. So then he goes ahead and takes that state away from me. Now also, if you end up landing on the state or landing on the open ballot or whatever, if you're the one that lands on it and your opponent buys it, then he's going to end up giving you the amount of votes that he bought it for. If you're the one that ended up bidding on it and winning it, you're going to put the votes back into the pile. All right, there's another one here called Fly Anywhere. This will allow you basically to pick any spot on the board. There's also the Secret Ballot, and this is a big one. Secret Ballot will basically put 4 different states from each of the districts up for auction. Nobody can look at them. And so essentially the bidding goes like the same with the rest of it. So let's say the person ends up bidding 5 million votes. He'll end up winning it, and then he'll uncover the states that he has, such as this. And so basically the game just keeps going on like this until you run out of states, and then you count them all up. So I'll go ahead and just do a real quick gameplay for you just to kind of show you how it works. Okay, so each player starts with 5 vote cards, and I'll go ahead and put them up. Let me get my home states back here. I'll go ahead and roll the die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Win votes. So I go ahead and take a vote card, and I have 500,000 extra. My opponent rolls 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He does the same thing. So let's go ahead and say I land on the state. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the eastern state here and look at it. And then I'm going to put it down and we'll start bidding. I'll start the bid at 250,000. My opponent goes up to 500,000. I raised it to 750. He goes $1 million. So I said, you can have it. So he'll pay me $1 million of these votes, and then he'll go ahead and pick this state and put it right here. Now you notice the state is really worth 400,000, so I made a profit on votes as far as that goes. So we'll continue playing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want some votes again. Let's go ahead and say I landed on the open ballot. And I said, okay, I want to go ahead and put your state up for auction. So we go ahead and start bidding. He bids 250. I bid $1 million. He says, okay, you can have it. So I'll go ahead and give him. So I'll go ahead and put the $1 million back here since I'm the one that won the auction, and I'll go ahead and put this state back. All right. All right. So rolling. I land on home state. Nothing happens there. But let's say my opponent lands on politics. He picks up the politics card and says, stop any action about to happen. This basically will help get, if I were to play like an open ballot or card on him or something like that, to put up one of his auctions or put up one of his states for auction, I could play this card and then stop that auction from happening, so my state would be safe. So basically you're just going to continue playing like this, and let's say on my next turn, or let's say on my next turn I land on a fly anywhere. Let's say I'm here. I go ahead and fly, let's say I fly to the secret ballot. So now 4 of these states are going to come up, like so, and then we put them up. So we start bidding again. My opponent doesn't have, he has a $5 million. So let's say we start bidding and he bids $3 million. I say, okay. See, he landed on it, so he's going to have to give up the $5 million. He doesn't get change in this. And he goes and wins these 4 states. He wins California, which is really good, Pennsylvania, which is really good, 5, which is really good, and Florida, which is also really good. So then all 4 of these states will go to him. And the game basically continues like this up until the very end. There are some cards that will allow you to put 2 states up against each other, and then as you roll for the higher number, and whoever rolls the highest number wins both of them. So there's a lot of different elements with this game, and it's rather cool. So there you go.